How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the GG Sports Podcast. Today we are joined by RAP Rap, known better on YouTube as Purple Pocket Podcast. So let's just start up. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how you became a fan of the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so hey, first of all, I just want to appreciate y'all for letting me join the show, man. I love y'all's podcast, everything y'all are doing for the Vikings, man. We got to stick together, man. Keep the purple alive. Y'all are definitely doing y'all thing with that.
Too.
But yeah, I started I became a Vikings fan in 1999 when I was 10 years old. Randy Moss is the reason why I became a Vikings fan. So it's a funny story. I really got in trouble when I was younger, and I had to write an essay that was part of my punishment, was to write an essay on my idol. Randy Moss was that. And after I did that and wrote that paper, I became like really diehard. That's when I was like all in. So ever since then, yeah, I just been a Vikings fan and couldn't change, man. I tell a story that, being that I'm from New Jersey, my mother and my father's side, they're Jets fans. So there was a 6-month stint in that 10 years I guess about 10 years I've been a fan, that I tried to be a Jets fan, but it didn't work out too good for me. So yeah, all about the purple.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely an upgrade. That's definitely an
upgrade. Big upgrade.
I mean, we got a lot of work to do for the Vikings, but it's still an upgrade from the Jets.
Yeah, so. Definitely. They got a Super Bowl, but that was, who even remembers what they were doing at that point too long ago at this time. But yeah, so so far, how are you feeling about the new regime so far? Like, what are your thoughts there? Because obviously Jamie and I are huge fans, but what are your thoughts?
Before we move on too far, I wanna just first say it's absolute mutual respect with these podcasts. Like what you said, we got to all stick together, and most importantly, I want to, like, as a group, prove the world that the Minnesota Vikings has the best fan base in all of sports. So that's the mission we're on all together. So I want to say that, and we're all doing this together. And from there, I also want you to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching GG Sport Podcast. Hit that button, hit the bell, get notifications for our video. And yeah, all you on. So what do you think?
You talking about, so what do I think of the new regime, right?
Yeah.
The new Kwesi and them. All right, sorry. I thought you were still going. My fault.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. I like it. I think we made the right choice at coach. Definitely with Kevin O'Connell, because Harbaugh, a lot of people were high on him, but I just didn't want to go. I felt like that would have been kind of similar to Zimmer. So when we picked Kevin, I just felt like it's the best for Kirk Cousins too. Because I mean, I don't want to. I'm not gonna say y'all's opinion on Kurt. I kind of hear some of y'all videos when y'all talk about Kurt, so I know the vibe, but I'll let y'all kind of spill it if y'all want to spill it on the show, because I don't want to speak for people. But yeah, me. I think Kevin O'Connell is the best option for Kirk Cousins to be his best, though. And we need that from him. I mean, he's obviously a fan of Kirk. He has a jersey that's in a frame and all that. So I think it's deeper than just football with him. So hopefully that'll work out. And then Kwesi, I mean, we really don't know. So far, it seems like he's been making the right moves. The draft was kind of, iffy. Some of the moves he made in the draft, it was like, I don't know, man. But, at the end of the day, Lewis seems like a good first-round pick. I mean, seems like an intelligent kid, loves football, seems violent, which what we need at that safety position. And I think it's good, man. I'm excited about it. I don't think I've ever been more excited for a season to start than I am this year, though. Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I think we kind of mirror that sentiment as well. Like it's fresh, and after so many years of Zimmer, which there was some good years in there, but recently it's been kind of stale. It's just it's the unexpected, the unknown of the future that really is exciting. I mean, obviously, because people said, if we somehow won a couple of those games last year, made the playoffs, we'd be sticking with the same regime. We'd kind of know what to feel going into next year. We'd know how it's going to be. But it's wide open now. I mean, I feel like this team, I think me and Jamie both feel like this team has the talent to take it to the next level. We just we have the opinion that it's all about the front office and coaching that can really make a change for the team. So I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm hoping we kind of see that, but who knows? But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You brought up Kirk Cousins. It's hard to have any guests or anything without just that's a quarterback. You got to talk about him.
Yeah.
So you said, I think I've seen your opinion on him a little bit. I guess ours is, Casey is he likes Kirk, I would say, right, Casey? Like, you like Kirk, and
I'm here.
Yeah. Like, he's not like, oh, Kirk is automatic the best quarterback who ever played for the Vikings, like a lot of the fan base lately. I'm definitely like more right here. You know, he
Yeah.
is our quarterback. I think
Teetering down.
he's talented. I mean, he has a talented arm, all that stuff. He has the intangibles to be a great quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on the mentality, and if he does have what it takes to carry a team to a Super Bowl, if
Right.
he needs to, you know, when it comes down to, you know, you're the last person on our team to carry us over the top here. Can he be that person to carry us over the top when we need him? Since I know quarterback's not a winning stat, as people want to say, but
Right.
it is the most important player of all the players to the team, and is the one player that is going to help you win the most, I would say. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm right. Let me see if I can put my thumb in there. I'm right here, you know. But I did make a promise to myself that this year, being the circumstances, I'm gonna ride behind Kirk Cousins. All right. So this year I'm gonna be a fan. This year I'm gonna be thumbs up on him, only because like I feel good knowing that look, Kurt, this is your time. We can't use any more excuses. It can't be the coaches. It can't be this. It can't be that. You've been in the league long enough, man. It's time to show us that you can take a team and get them over the hump. You know, 8-8 or 8-9, shall I say, or even 9-8. We can't deal with that anymore. If that happens, we have to move on. It just is what it is, man. Kurt is who he is. But hey, y'all should join me. Y'all should be thumbs up this year with Kurt, and let's give him good vibes, man.
Yep.
I got a good feeling about it. I do.
Yeah.
Which is rare.
Right. At the end of the day, he's our quarterback, so we want him to succeed. And you know, he has the talent. It's not a talent problem. Yeah. So I think, like you said, we have so much talent on our team. We have this new coaching staff. We have a head coach that is an offensive-minded coach. So Kirk Cousins literally has everything, I feel like, in my opinion, unless like crazy injuries happen, I guess, to succeed. And if we don't have a winning season, and like you said, like I don't want to see 9 wins, at least 10 wins. And honestly, even that, I feel like with the talent we have, we should be able to do that.
Yeah.
And if he can't do that, I think you run over excuses. I'll give him that one final shot again. I feel like it's that one more chance. This year is the one time. And if he can't bring us to the playoffs or something like that, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. He just doesn't have that it factor, I guess. If that's the case,
let it
I'm
out.
going to give
let
him
it out, Jamie. Let it out.
I'm going to give him everything he's got, though, for this year. I want him to succeed, and I hope he still can be that quarterback for us, because we've been looking for it for a long time.
Me too.
Kind of like you were talking about with like, giving him good vibes and stuff. I feel like a big thing with Kirk, and I feel like it might change his mentality as well. And we talked about this last week with the guest we had as well. The culture, I feel like, is going to be much better for Kirk. Like, I think he always felt unwanted by Zimmer, who the coach-quarterback relationship is a huge deal, obviously. So I felt in a way he always kind of felt like the what do they call it, the redhead stepchild, the person that just they didn't want him there, just kind of odd man out, making all this money, but Zimmer wanted to spend it on the defense and stuff. But I feel like the culture, and we've seen the culture all the way through offseason, like the team just feels like they're together, like everyone's excited to show up to work, which is huge. I think that is only going to help Kirk Cousins more, because I feel like and we said this exact same thing last week. He feels like he's wanted now. He feels like someone wants him to be there. So I feel like just with all that, and just with the rest of the team too, I just feel like all the vibes are just everything's trending in the right direction. Something I heard AJ Hawk say on Pat McAfee show last week is you can't win the Super Bowl in the offseason, but you sure can lose it. Yeah. And the Vikings haven't gotten there, because everything looks from an off-field perspective, everything looks like it's gonna be amazing. Everyone's gonna gel really well. It just needs to go on the field. That's the most important thing. If it doesn't equate to wins, none of it matters. But so far, just what's happened in the offseason, I'm excited. I think it's all trending in the right direction at the very least.
Yeah, definitely, man. I have to agree. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I haven't been more excited than I am this year. Like, this year just feels different. It really does. I mean, it just really does. Even when we brought in Frazier, I was a little excited about that when that happened. But this one, just O'Connell just feels better. It just feels better. I was actually while waiting on y'all, I was watching the interviews from yesterday's I guess OTAs, and man, just hearing Kevin O'Connell talk about the defense, like not even the offense. I mean, talking about how excited he is seeing the defense cause turnovers during the camps and stuff like that. I mean, that just feels so good to hear, because we need a coach that can lead the whole team. not just offense, not just defense. They got to do both, you know, special teams as well. Can't leave them out. But yeah, man, he just seems like he's going to be hands-on all over the field, and that's what we need. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that's huge as well, for sure. It's just because that's, you know, I mean, everyone always called, you know, Mike Zimmer just the defensive coordinator who made terrible decisions when it came to challenges. And yeah, you feel, and Kevin O'Connell, he said that coming in. He's like, I'm going to be the guy that calls the offense, but you know, I feel comfortable enough with my offensive coordinator in Wes Phillips that I can hand it off to him for a day and go work with the defense if I want. Eric Kendricks, I think he said in the press conference a while back, he's like, nah, he's an offensive coach and we know it, but it's cool to see that at least he's trying. And that's the
right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah. I'm excited, man. That's it. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, man, that cultural shift, it's definitely exciting. At the very least, like it seems like the morale is up high right now. And all the players are like keep talking about, they're outspoken about it. It's not behind closed doors. I think at first they kind of were trying to be a little quiet about it, but now it seems pretty obvious. Like
it's out there now.
Up.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, like I said,
you can go ahead.
We won't know if anything works until the future. In the future, 6 weeks from now is training camp. OTAs, mini camp, everything wrapped up today. So what are we most looking forward to in the future? Like, let's say training camp. What's one big thing from training camp that you're excited to watch?
All right. Y'all want me to go first?
Go right ahead.
All right.
Sure.
So the most exciting thing I'm ready to watch is the cornerback battles, right? Because we all know that that's been a problem. And I know anybody that's been watching my channel and what I talk on, man, I love Cameron Dantzler. I just feel like Cameron Dantzler can take that next step. And it's kind of in a position where it was the coaching last year. I mean, look at, you know, him benching him over Breeland when we all knew Breeland just couldn't play cornerback. You know, it was just plain to see that he kept getting burnt over and over again. But yet, because I guess, you know, Cameron rubs him the wrong way, he benched him. And it's just like, yo, I'm ready to see Cam Dantzler take that next step. And I think his, you know, morale is definitely going to be on a high level, just like Kellen Mond too, like not to switch the quarterbacks, but it's just, you can just see the same type of vibe. You know, Kellen Mond just seems a lot more like, hey, I get a chance now. I finally can prove what I can do. And I feel the same about Cam. So I'm excited about the cornerback battle for sure.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Yeah.
Amy, go ahead. What about you?
I was just going to agree on that. I think that was one thing that made me probably the most mad of last season was the whole Dantzler situation and him getting benched. I don't know what he did behind closed doors, whatever, but there was no question he was the best cornerback. Probably, I mean, he had the highest grade of all the cornerbacks, including Patrick Peterson. And a lot of people, I think, since we've drafted Andrew Booth, are kind of like they think it's going to be Patrick Peterson's spots number one, and then it's going to be that battle for number two, and they think Andrew Booth is just going to take it. We kind of try to argue that we don't want that. We want Dantzler to improve. So when Patrick Peterson's gone, we have Andrew Booth and Cameron Dantzler. That's what we want.
Exactly.
So I agree with you. That's going to be an awesome battle. Yeah. In our last video, I mentioned Lewis Cine and Cameron Bynum and Harrison Smith. Obviously, Harrison Smith has that spot, and then Cameron Bynum and Cine are going to be fighting for that the strong safety spot. But what I'm mostly interested is they keep talking about how, you know, you have to get your best players on the field and that they're going to try any way to get all three of them on the field at the same time. So I would say, I don't know if it's the most thing that I'm looking forward to, but it's definitely up there. I want to see how they plan on getting all three on the field at the same time and how they can do that.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one, man. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
My biggest thing, I'm tied between two. One of them, I guess my side one is I want to see how they're going to use Delvin Cook in the passing game. I think that's going to be exciting. I want to see that in camp, in like 11-on-11 drills, full pads. I want to see how that's going to work out. And if, you know, maybe take some wear into off, which would be huge. But my biggest thing is obviously the thing that's been an issue for the last probably ever since I've been a Vikings fan is I want to see how this offensive line is going to be set up. I want to see Christian Darrisaw in a full offseason with health. I want to see what he's going to do. I want to see, the center, I want to see if Bradbury, I guess he's put on some weight. He's up to over 300 pounds now. I think he said he might be like 310, 315.
Yeah, I seen that this morning. Yeah.
So I want to see if that's going to help him at all at the center position, maybe toughen him up a little bit. Who knows? And then the guard positions obviously are going to be huge. I heard Ed Ingram was even working in at left guard a little bit. But I like Ezra Cleveland, but you got to get the best combination of five out there. And I think that's going to be probably one of the things that people are going to be watching the most. I think cornerback might be up there at the top as well. But everywhere else is kind of settled. Receivers, I mean, I guess you're fighting for maybe a fourth receiver spot in the return jobs and stuff. Quarterback, we know who that's going to be. Defense, a little bit going on with the linebackers. But I think that offensive line is the most up in the air aside from corners that, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And God, I hope that they're good this year. I hope that offensive line shapes up.
I'm telling you,
it should be better.
It should be better though.
Than
and
last year.
That's another thing. That's another thing too is that's another thing I like about Kwesi, right? Or who I'm just gonna say it's Kwesi's doing because he's the GM, so he has to take command. I like all the collaboration, but I also stated in one of my shows that being the GM, you also have to take command at some point, right? You don't want too much collaboration. You got hired to make decisions and to make big decisions, and that's what you get paid the big bucks for. And I like how we're bringing in competition, right? To where usually it was just, let's just roll out Dakota Dozier or let's just roll out, whoever we have. No, bring in guys that can, compete for the position. Right. That's going to make it fun. Hey, we're bringing in this guy that's going to be on trying to get your job. So y'all battle it out. Let's see who we got. And it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. And you're even seeing that with the legs too. Like they brought in a kicker and a punter for competition as well. So it's like, it's all over the place. Every spot is, other than a few, most spots are having competition. And that's exactly like iron sharpens iron. That's how you get better. You bring people in, and that's part of it is, they're your teammate, but this person's also here trying to take your job. So what are you going to do?
Right.
You got to step up or step out. So it's,
exactly. Well said. Well said. Step up or step out for real. I mean, we can't feel sorry for. These guys make good money. You're out there competing. Right. Hey, look, come out there, give it your all, win the job. If you don't, see you later. Like for real, we're trying to win a Super Bowl, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And then also, and then I'm curious to see how much a lot of these rookies are going to get worked in as well. Because I've been on record saying that I feel like that this draft was a lot of like drafting for need at positions now for sure, but I felt like it was a lot of like for the future when maybe you lose a guy like Eric Kendricks due to money or Harrison Smith due to age, or like they're drafting, or Patrick Peterson even, they're drafting the guys that are going to replace these guys down the road. But obviously they're still draft picks and you still want them to get work. So I'm curious to see how much a lot of these rookies are going to get worked in, are going to get rotated in. And if there's going to be some sort of like cornerback rotation, if you're just going to go with your starting two and the other guys come in other situations or something. So how the rookies get kind of played is something I'm very curious about. I know Jamie was telling me that we talked about it in a video we actually just recorded before this, is how Lewis Cine is finally getting in with the first team. So they're starting to work him in a little bit, which is huge. So it'll be interesting to see how these rookies get put out there and when training camp starts up.
Yeah. I wanted to ask y'all really quick. So how did y'all feel about Cine when they, I know I've seen y'all kind of talk about it, but since we're on the show together, I just want to hear it face to face.
At first, it was a buzzkill because of the trade back and the fact that we were still kind of like looking like kind of scratching our heads over the compensation.
Right.
So at first, I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay. And then my friend texted me. He's like, well, so we pass up on Kyle Hamilton, we trade down, we take this no-name bum safety. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, I don't know about the guy. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Then the more I started watching his highlights, and when I listened to him the next day, hop on PA's show and do some other, like his introductory press conference and stuff, I was 100% sold on the kid as a person. He seems like a really good dude, loves football. He just seems like like you said, intelligent person. His hair is amazing. So,
that too.
Started watching his highlights, and I'm just like, okay, this kid can play. And I think he's going to come out and prove that he was worthy of being a first-round pick. And I know a lot of other teams liked him. And so at first, it was a little bit buzzkill because I never heard of the kid. But the more that I watched and learned more about him and listened to him talk, I'm sold. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
For me, so it was interesting because when throughout the draft process, we came out with these videos where we did like top 5 from each position or whatever. And we never got to safety because we kind of just because it came up quick. We just did the ones that we thought we would go for. And we felt pretty good with our safety position at the time. Yeah. So when we're at 12 and Hamilton fell, of course, I kind of looked into him a little bit. I knew who Cine was, and I definitely knew who Hamilton was. And there was other guys like I'm not even gonna be able. The guy from Michigan, can't think of his name.
Yeah.
What is it?
Daxton Hill.
Yeah, Daxton Hill
Yeah,
and
Dre from Baylor.
Yeah, that was my guy,
from
Jalen
Baylor.
Petrie. That's
Yeah,
who I wanted.
Petrie. Yeah. So we looked into those guys. So I knew the names and stuff like that, but I didn't know enough about them. I looked at all the other positions, and except for Hamilton, I kind of did know about Hamilton, and I knew that I kind of fell into the idea of, you know, Hamilton's supposed to be a easy top 5 talent in this whole entire draft process. So if he falls to you at 12, how do you not take him? Especially, you know, we pass him up, we traded in the back, and then we still end up picking a safety anyways. That wasn't Hamilton. So for me, it was like, oh shit. And then after, like Casey said, when we went and dug into him more and more, the more you like him. I mean, you know, you said as a person and everything, and the more he talks, the better. You know, he comes out with these one-liners like, I'm going to stack bodies.
Yeah.
Like, what else you need to say? I mean, that's savage. That's a savage thing to say.
Exactly.
And you got to love it. And so I love that. But then besides that, like, you got to love that he's just this monster hitter, like the biggest hitter of the draft. People want to say, obviously, with Harrison Smith. We love to hear that. And then to match it, he ran like a 4.3 something. So he's fast and I mean, he's kind of like everything you'd want, especially from just like a talent size or whatever. So, you know, maybe he's a little raw or something. I don't know. But I mean, now I'm at the point now where I do feel convinced that I'm not sure that Hamilton's going to be the better safety. And I have a feeling, and maybe I'm a little biased, probably a little biased. I'm pretty biased sometimes. But
I mean, honestly, like I feel like Hamilton's still going to be good. I just feel like Hamilton's a good player, but I mean, I still believe that I don't think if there is a talent gap, like as far as production, I don't think it's going to be far. It's going to be something where like Scene's going to be better at this, but Hamilton might be better at this, but you know, but I still think we got a good pick, man.
Yeah, sure. And the thing with Lewis Cine is he's smart too. Like, I know you talked about him being a big hitter, but he knows he's got to play safe. He's got to keep himself in football, in the games, because he said, you know, big hits, he gets suspended. Harrison Smith will be able to teach him all about that, being incorrectly called for you know, hits and stuff. But and he said it himself too. It's like cost you. He's like, and the biggest thing is it costs you a pretty penny too if you get fined. So. He knows.
Yeah, he's smart guy. The Andrew Booth pick, though, when we picked, I was super pumped about that. I think
a big part of that trade too. Like, you know, everyone's looking like you don't take Hamilton, you trade down, take a safety, but you got the ammunition to go get an Andrew Booth, who was a first round talent without the injuries. So
right. So I'm excited. Yeah, he's a guy that if we didn't get, I'd feel a lot different about this draft. I think with having him, I feel like getting him, that kind of player in the second round, especially because like he's like the guy that you see drop in with Spielman. I feel like he wouldn't have just went up and got his guy like that. I guess there's all kinds of guys that it's dropping, and you're like, he's the position we need, and he's falling like a guy like even Trevon Diggs or Antonio Winfield Jr. I guess I was the end of the first round.
Yeah, we missed him. He should have been playing in purple.
I know. I mean, any teams, both those players would probably have been pretty. You should have thought they would have been scouted pretty hard because they had, you know, the Stephon Diggs and then obviously Antonio Winfield. So I did like that that's what the thing I like about Kwesi with this draft is that he was willing to go up and grab his players, not just trade back. He was willing to do whatever it took. Like he was willing to trade back, trade up, whatever. And I thought that was cool. But
he reached a couple times too with you know, people felt like the Ed Ingram pick was a reach, and they felt like the Caleb Evans pick was a reach. But like we talked about, like he said, Caleb Evans was his guy. That was the one guy you pinpointed that I want this guy at some point in the draft. So he went, and you love to see that. And I think it's only going to help in the future with, you know, even off-season signings or doing things within the season. They're aggressive with things that they want. So
have y'all heard anything on why we're not cutting the deals yet though with like Andrew Booth and all of them? Yeah, there's like
we mentioned that in our last, which obviously isn't posted yet, so no one would have seen it. But I guess there was something because I was watching a different podcast and they said it's something with like the structuring of the contracts because like I guess the pick above Ed Ingram got guaranteed money in the first year. And the guy after him didn't get it's something with guaranteed money. So I think they're trying to, obviously the team's trying to get him down to the guy below him. Well, he wants to be at the guy above him. So I think it's something just with all that, like the deeper language in the contracts and guaranteed money and whatnot. And Andrew Booth, I'm sure it probably has something to do with the injuries. Maybe they, you know.
Yeah, I hope not. I was worried about that with his injuries. I mean, if he's healthy, obviously we can see what he is, with the Odell Beckham, catch as a
Right, right.
cornerback. Like the
Right. Yep.
athleticism is
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
And then somebody, I guess I just seen something too this morning where I guess there was a reporter or somebody that was saying like he's gonna be a stud in the NFL and we made the right pick grabbing him. I'm excited about him. The guy that I do the lives with, Dave, he's really high on Andrew Booth Jr. Like, I mean, that's like his favorite
Yeah.
draft pick of all time. I wasn't really like, I'm not super excited about him, but like I say, a lot of these picks I weren't super excited about until I started digging into them and started really seeing, the value that they can bring. And I think everyone's like a real puzzle piece to
Mhm.
success. I can see
Mhm.
the vision, so
Yeah, exactly. They hit that's the one thing that you can't argue with is this draft is they just hit the positions of need so hard. And
yeah,
that was nice to see. Like going into this offseason, it's kind of like we don't really any place we have holes, we have tons of bodies for competition in.
yeah,
And that's nice to see. So I mean, that's what's going to make training camp exciting. I mean, there's going to be, 4 players at every position, like cornerback, right
yeah,
guard, and those are kind of like the only ones that we really need to worry a lot. Maybe center, we'll see. That one's kind of up in the air a little bit, but
yeah,
so that
yeah,
was kind of nice to see from that draft spot that we're making sure those holes get filled. So
yeah, for
I'm
sure,
excited about
for
that.
sure.
But
Yeah,
Yeah. And then the edge rushing tandem is going to be huge to watch in training camp as well. See if they can stay healthy through the whole thing. And those two, I mean, I'm
health,
excited to
man,
see to see,
health.
to see Zadarius and Daniil work together. I think that's going to be a match made in heaven, and it's going
mhm.
to be if it works out the way we want it to. The rest of the NFL's got to watch out. That's going to be one
Yeah,
of the
the thing is, if they just stay, all they got to do is stay healthy. That's it. If they stay healthy, I mean, they both know how to play football to the highest level. So if
right.
as long as they stay healthy, then yeah, it's gonna happen how it's supposed to happen.
Yep. And
You know?
I know they kind of mentioned Zadarius missed a day of, I think, OTAs last week or some sort of practice with a minor little injury. It's a
Yeah,
precautionary thing, is what Kevin O'Connell said. So
yeah,
hopefully that doesn't, I mean, I'm surprised more fans didn't freak out about it, but
yeah. I did a video on that. Yeah, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. With his back hurting because he slept wrong. I was like, yo. We can't not,
Right,
playoff game. You wake up and all of a sudden your back's hurting because you slept wrong. Like we can't have that, man. Come on, get a sleep number bed, Z.
right, right.
For sure.
right? The plug for Sleep Number. There we go. Maybe we'll get
Yeah,
that. Maybe one of
plug
those.
them, man.
Yeah.
But
Sponsor
yeah,
us.
no, I mean, it's just everything that's happened so far. I'm excited for. Like you mentioned, the Harbaugh thing. We were both kind of in on that when it didn't happen. It was kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah,
But I think O'Connell, at the end
yeah.
of the day, right choice.
Mhm.
I think he's. We both wanted that young, offensive minded. I mean, for sure, young offensive minded was the bonus part of it. But we
Yeah,
definitely wanted that young coach who's going to bring in new ideologies and kind of be able to mesh with this younger generation of talent that
Yeah.
is in the league these days. Because obviously, young people were different than it was back.
It's the
exactly.
Sean McVay thing. It's the
Yeah, it
Sean
is.
McVay thing.
It
That's what
is.
it is. Like
Yeah.
it's so attractive having that young head coach that's killing it because he could. I mean,
He can
there's
relate. He can relate
Yeah.
to
he can
most of the
relate,
players.
and he could
Mhm.
end up being their coach for. I know he's had some things about leaving or whatever, but he
Yeah.
could be a coach for like 15 years. You never like 20 years, like a Bill
Yeah.
Belichick.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just cool to see like a coach that it'd be nice to get that young coach that you could have for a long
Yeah.
time instead
Telling
of
you.
us
Yep.
who's going through coaches
Yeah. I mean, and you got that.
pretty
And you
often.
got.
Yeah.
And you got that Kevin O'Connell jawline too. The guy looks like Superman out there.
Yeah. He looks like Bud. It's crazy how much he looks like Bud, honestly. Like when they put their two pictures together,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, wow, that's
Right.
crazy.
Well, let's hope he has the same amount of success. Just maybe a couple more Super Bowls in the mix there.
I'm telling you,
It'd
yeah.
be
You
Right,
gotta add
couple
some
more.
Super Bowl. That's it. Yeah, you do have
Yep,
to add some
yep.
Super Bowls,
yeah.
O'Connell, for sure.
Yeah. So, how are
Yeah.
you feeling about the season? Like, did you do any sort of schedule prediction, like record prediction episode at all?
Yeah, we can go through it though. Yeah, definitely.
Do
Yeah,
it.
we can go through it. Yeah. So I pretty much, so to sum it all up, I got us at 10-7, and this is my first one. Obviously, this is before we know who's gonna be where, because I mean, we still have position battles that are gonna take place, but just going off of who I believe is gonna be starting, and I feel like 10-7 was fair. I mean, I would love 12-5, but realistically, I don't know. It's because, like y'all were saying too, Kevin O'Connell's never done this before.
Right.
So even though we're like, so it just breath of fresh air seems so exciting. It's like there's a possibility he could go out there and be over his head. You know, there's a possibility he can go out there and be the worst coach, you know, ever picked up in NFL history. There is a chance, you know, and you got to always have that in the back of your mind. I mean, he seems smart enough not to be that guy, but I always just try to make sure I'm thinking about those type of situations too. But I think 10-7, you know, I feel like the opening game when we play Green Bay, that's going to be a tone setter. We have to step on their necks right away. We got to step on their necks. If we blow them out in week 1, it's going down after that. I'm trusting. It's going to go down. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, what y'all have us at?
I'll let Casey.
Our episode.
Casey. Man, come on.
No. Casey is good.
There was a little bit of satire in our episode. We went into it doing like I was gonna be realistic, and Jamie was just gonna.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, now that you say that, Jamie, now I know. Yeah,
17-0.
I'll let you say it here.
Super Bowl.
I was like, dang, boy, Jamie got us winning every game, bro.
Beating the pack. What did I have? I think beating the Packers in the one of the rounds. I don't know. I'll wait a Super Bowl, and I forgot who we had us beating.
Yeah, I mean, we could lose that game, but nah, we're gonna win that game. Yeah, I got that as a win.
But I had us at 13-4, maybe a little bit, you know, trying to hype it up a little bit. But I realistically, there's a lot of games I thought we could realistically win. There's going to be some tough ones. The Philadelphia game, I think, is going to be sneakily hard. I think a lot of people, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know the national feel on them, but I think
it sounds like they're pretty hyped up. I would probably say people think they're probably considered the team that's improved the most in this offseason.
Right. And to them, and they kind of got the same type of situation we got going on. They're surrounding Jalen Hurts with all the talent and saying, go show us that you're the guy that's going to lead this team in the future.
Exactly.
I think it's just like us, going to be big on Jalen Hurts, but I think that's going to be a sneaky game. We always, I mean, under the old regime, we always struggled against that type of quarterback. The guys that can move around and make plays with their legs like Jalen Hurts can. So I think I think that'll be a big one too. If we lose to Green Bay somehow week 1, that Philadelphia game on Monday night becomes an absolute must win because you don't want to start 0-2. So
I'm telling you.
I think those first 2 games, I think, are really going to be the 2 games that kind of, you know, I mean, if you can come up beat Green Bay, Kirk Cousins gets that 3rd Monday Night Football win, then you're feeling pretty good about yourselves and going on towards the rest of the season. But yeah, I think in that episode, Jamie had us going against Buffalo in the Super Bowl, 2-0-4.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, beat them twice. That's right. Yeah, I would say if I was going to be more realistic, I guess. I would probably say I think we definitely have the talent to win 13 games. Like I think the absolute talent's there. I think like what you said, we still have to see how the coaching meshes with everything. Like everything's so new that we have to see how everything meshes. But based on just pure talent, I can see us be a 13 win team. And then I'm still going to go with it. Playoffs, Super Bowl win. Let's go.
There you go. I'm with you, Jamie, man. 17-0 Super Bowl. I mean, we're going to cruise to the playoffs. I like
just
that. I
first
like your
year,
vibe.
KLC comes in, brings Super Bowl. Dynasty starts, win at least 5 in the next 6 years. Yeah. And people aren't going to be looking at Tom Brady and Belichick anymore. It's going to be all about
Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell.
Kirk Cousins and KLC. No, there's going to be Kellen Mond or someone else is going to pull the old Tom Brady Bledsoe thing, and then.
So I mean, realistically, how many games do y'all think? Like, how many games do y'all think we have to win for Kurt to say he's going to?
We got to go to play. The wins, I would have to say definitely over 10, like you said. I think we're going to need that to make playoffs anyway. So that's the thing. He has to make, in my opinion, he's got to make playoffs. And honestly, I feel like we have to make it past the first round of playoffs.
Yeah. We have to get into
unless it's obvious the coaching's the problem, I guess. But
Well, we have to get into the divisional round, and he has to have and if we lose in the divisional round or whatever, he still has to. I think he still has to have a good game. Like, if he comes out, obviously, I think when we played, and the offensive line was an issue in that game. But when we played San Francisco in 2019 or 2020 would have been at that time, he had the first drive, which was great, but after that, just couldn't get anything going. So I think he's got to play his best football. To get everybody to buy into the Kirk Cousins hype and see that minivan rolling down the street, Minnesota during a Super Bowl parade by the stadium, he's going to have to play his best ball of the year. And when it comes to the playoffs, it's going to have to get even better. He's going to have to take more control of the offense.
And you want to see that out of him.
Exactly. And I think that's what it's going to take to really turn around public perception of who Kirk Cousins is as a quarterback. Because right now, but look what, like Matthew Stafford. a lot of people, I mean, Matthew Stafford, I thought he was a Kirk Cousins clone. Same guy, like stat padding, never win, doesn't win a lot of games. His teams always suck. And he gets into this type of situation, and look at him now. Everyone's like, oh, Matt Stafford's a top 5 quarterback or top 10 quarterback in the NFL. It's like, so all
which is crazy. Which is crazy though. I mean, the people do compare, Stafford and Kurt. But I see one thing I like a little more about Stafford is he takes risk. That's what holds Kurt back. Like I did a video saying, like, when on one of our shows where I was saying, hey, look, Kurt, please just try to throw 3 more interceptions for me. I don't care, because that just lets me know that you're giving Justin Jefferson or Thielen a chance. I mean, there's no way that if you see JJ one-on-one that you don't feel like your guy's gonna win that battle, man.
Right.
I mean, it's like you got to give him the chance. You know what I mean? It has to happen.
Yeah.
And he'll be surprised. He'll be surprised what happens if he just takes a little bit more risk too.
Right. I agree with you. I think, going to, I've mentioned this before, but last year, all the conservative play is always on Mike Zimmer. He's the head coach and everything.
Yeah.
I'm someone that does think Kirk Cousins is a little conservative. So that's something that'll be interesting going into this year to see if he kind of opens that up a little bit. And if not, and he stays very conservative, then you could probably say that he's part of the reason why we were conservative last year. Like, I think it's a good year to see if he is too conservative or not, I guess.
Right.
It was funny. I was watching one of their training or the mini camp or OTA highlights, and they showed a play where Kirk Cousins checked it down to CJ Ham. I'm like, don't put that on the YouTube channel. What are you doing?
That's crazy you said that, because I said that. I said, listen, I don't care if it's OTAs or not. You should not be throwing the ball. Don't even get in that habit. That shouldn't be happening. Don't throw. I love CJ Ham though. CJ Ham. I mean, you gotta love it. If you're a Minnesota fan, you gotta love CJ.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie though, he's got that special connection there.
Yeah, I graduated high school with CJ Ham.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
So I'm always going to be, I'm like, throw every ball to CJ Ham.
Oh, so you're like, throw it to CJ
Those
Ham.
are the only those are the only short throws you can have, and then everything else has to be downfield.
I don't blame you. Yeah, you went to school with him and stuff, or you went to school with him, or he just graduated from your same
No, I graduated with him.
Oh, okay, you graduated.
So I graduated high school.
Oh, yeah.
With him.
Yeah. For you, then throw him every ball.
That's pretty much. Big rooting for that guy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's worth rooting for. He's as nice as a guy as he puts out for sure.
Yeah, I love him, man. I definitely love CJ.
It was crazy. We got like 30 some minutes into this episode before even talking about Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson, there you go. That's all you need to say.
The best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, the guy's an absolute monster. He's got the Randy Moss hair going on right now.
Yeah, he does.
Seen that.
Yeah, him and Adam Thielen. We were talking about him earlier. Like he's been showing off. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he's still a top 15, maybe top 20 wide receiver in the NFL. His route running is unmatched. His ability to catch any ball thrown at him is also unmatched. Like the guy's an absolute machine. If he can stay healthy, just absolutely amazing. You got KJ Osborne taking him number 3, which is cool. So wide receiver, man, that's got to be the best position on the team right there. As wide receivers are set.
I agree.
I'm excited to see what Irv Smith is going to show in training camp. I bet you they'll kind of take the training wheels off when it comes to training camp and let him go full bore and see.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be an absolute monster if he can stay healthy. The guy's based, a little bit slower wide receiver in a tight end's body. So it's exciting.
Yeah, my thing on Irv is I know he's a good player. I know he can be elite. He's showed flashes, but I just don't. It's like when we talk, like it seems. I guess it's just the past 2 seasons or whatever, where it's just like, oh, don't forget we got Irv, But I'm on some stuff like, man, he hasn't really showed me anything for me to just say we got Irv. People make it seem like he's like Shannon Sharp already, like everybody knows he's just gonna be a Hall of Fame tight end. But don't get me wrong, like I say, the flashes we've seen, obviously he can play tight end. He's fast, like a hybrid, but I just want him to prove it this year. He has to prove it this year.
Right. Yeah,
make me excited.
And he has to, because the depth is weak behind him. So he has to be that guy, and he
has to stay healthy, man.
Right.
Yeah, without that, we're in some deep water there. But
luckily we have KJ Osborne, who I think is going to take a massive leap this year. He took a big leap last year. I think he's even going to take a bigger one this year, and he's going to show that he's should be at least wide receiver 2 on a team.
Yeah. So, because that was a thing too with I mean that like you were saying, Casey. I mean the competition in the wide receiver room is crazy. That's I mean we have so much. There's other teams that are probably like, yo, let us hold something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Give us one. Let us get one of them, man. Come on, y'all got so much. I mean, because even Olabisi Johnson's back in the mix now, and he just seems like a good locker room player. But
Right.
I did something where I was saying like Olabisi, I kind of worry about him only because of how good the competition level is. Like I mean, we got Jalen Naylor, a bunch of shifty guys that have speed, and I hope Olabisi can find a way to stay on the team and maybe find a role. But I think it's going to be hard for him, though. I think he's definitely going to be fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah,
I would
and
agree.
it'll be now ISM has his injury that he's dealing with,
Yeah.
which doesn't sound like it's going to be too serious or anything.
Right.
So, because I mean, he was my favorite for wide receiver 4.
Yeah.
He showed up at the end of last season, so it'll be interesting to see him. I did want to say, talking about kind of veteran receivers that kind of hang out in the wide receiver 4-3 spot. Chad Beebe signed with Houston Texans
I
today.
saw that.
Oh, there you go, Chad. There you go, Chad. Shout out to him, man. I'm
Yep,
glad he
yep.
got another job, another opportunity to play. I mean, injuries again hindered him, and I hope he does good for sure. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, me too.
I'm rooting for him.
We'll see. But anything else we missed? I think we covered quite a bit of bases today. Anything
Yeah,
else
man, we
you wanna
did,
bring
man.
up?
We covered a bunch, Hey, again, I just want to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to be on y'all's podcast. Hey, everybody watching, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to their podcast, man. GG Sports Podcast. I'm a big fan. Hey, you guys inspire me, like I said, for sure. Hopefully, we can build a friendship throughout the season and get together. And like I said, y'all are more than welcome to come on my show whenever y'all want to jump on mine, man, and kind of just interact with the people that I deal with on live. And there's a couple plugs on about 2 of my shows where I definitely plug y'all. So, I just want to let you know I got y'all's back for sure, man. I'm riding for y'all, man. I want to see y'all grow. Definitely.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, there was like I said, mutual respect.
Yeah.
We want the same for you. That being said, Purple Pocket Podcast, go check his stuff out and subscribe to his channel as well.
Yeah,
and for sure, man, we'll keep this going and
let's do it, man. Let's make it a regular thing. Like anytime you guys have free time and you want to, hey, let me hop on, or vice versa, whatever, man. Let's just keep it going for sure.
Because I believe both of our podcasts are pretty close to 500 subscribers. I believe within like 30 to 35. So get us to 500 subscribers, because then we're halfway to monetization.
And then we're all trying to get to that 1,000.
We're all trying to quit our jobs, man.
Yeah,
quit our jobs and do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll have next level content.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. That's like the biggest thing. Everyone looks at like podcasts and stuff, and they're kind of just like, well, you shouldn't be hyping each other up because you want to be the best. It's like, that doesn't need to be that way. It's
man.
Especially
football fandom is a community. Everybody's
right.
together. You can listen to different people's opinions, and that's the best part about it.
It is.
It's always nice to see what other people think about things. So
yeah, it's like I never look at things like this as competition, especially when you're doing now music or something like that. Maybe that's different because you're trying to get more fans than the next person. But when it comes to being a fan base like us, the Minnesota Vikings, if you look around, not to talk about any other teams, but a lot of other teams, they all come together, man. Cowboys fans, Jets. I mean, all their podcast content creators. I mean, if you pay attention to them, man, they go live at least one day a week where they'll have like 6 guys on the screen and all representing their own channel, and they just talk about their team, man. It's fun. It's like us hanging out at the bar or something without being at the bar,
Yeah, exactly.
And we just talking Minnesota football, man, and everybody, we have a really good, loyal fan base too, man.
For sure.
And that's
best fans in the world.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And, it's not just us podcasters or I'll do a plug right now. We're also working with the Purple Pain Forums, which is a forum, like a website that has really nice forums, stuff like that. Other like Facebook pages, Instagram pages, all that content stuff. And even more than that, just the general fan. You don't have to be doing anything. We're all like one big family. And just like I've said earlier, on this mission to just prove we're that top dog in the fandom game. So
I'm telling you. And like you said, man, shout out to Purple Pain for sure. They tuned into my show last night.
Awesome.
They reached out to me to join. One thing about it, I mean, if you want to learn something about the Vikings or hear some news, that freaking platform is amazing. I can't keep up. I told them, like, it seems like a lot of writing to me. I mean, they go deep, they go
They
deep.
They do.
But anyway, I told them anyway I can help on YouTube, man. Let me know for sure,
Right.
man.
Right.
For sure.
But
Hey,
all right,
well,
so yeah, that'll do it
Hey.
for this episode of GG Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast. If you want to check out some of our other videos over here on GG Sports Podcast, links will be right up here for you guys. Most importantly, as I said, subscribe everywhere. Subscribe to all the channels. Get us to that 1,000 subscriber monetization mark. Everything's going to be great. And we will see you guys in the next episode of the GG Sports.
I'll let your boy.
Skol Vikes.